What's up, everybody, and welcome back. Same faces, same time, same place, except today we're doing a little bit of a bread and butter, but more of a modern day bread and butter because instead of the Wayback Machine, we're literally just bringing you back a year ago. Um, we're doing another recast, but it's for season 40. So, Battle of the Eras, which is a topic that's fresh in a lot of people's minds. We got a topic suggestion in the comments on the last video, and feel like this is a good one to tackle. So, especially for you, I mean, I know you're ready to tackle your flight in a couple days. So, I mean, you're already in tackle mode.
Oh yeah, I'm in fight or flight mode, and I'm ready to fight this cast.
Well, it's
No,
never bad to catch a flight. I mean, catching a fight, you might end up like Adam King or Davis. So, we might have to stay grounded in that regard. So we'll
oh
choose to
yeah,
catch a flight on this one.
yeah, for sure.
So if you guys know Battle of the Eras, it's I would say it's a pretty polarized. Even though it's recent, folks, this is polarizing. We headed into it milestone season. I remember spoiler season like it was yesterday. It was happening on my birthday, like when they revealed all the names. So I'm literally sitting, a couple Long Islands deep at the local Applebee's, just getting this casting news rolling in, and I'm just like, I'm seemingly seeing what they're doing, which is that they did like costing cuts on 3039 by kind of pretty much casting like cannon fodder for the most part, and then saving their money to really invest in like a high profile nostalgia based sort of cast for the most part for season 40. Not nostalgia in the sense that they were like really bringing a lot of like people we hadn't really seen. I mean, Aviv obviously, but like like big names. We had been seeing a lot of them on All Stars and stuff, but like a lot of people like Jody, Mark Long, people like that, Kellyanne, who had like primarily done All Stars, came over to the flagship for this one. So like this was really just kind of like really bringing everybody in. We didn't have any like rookies from like international shows at the time. I mean, we did have international people, just like not from a new show that we'd never heard of. So, people were reasonably excited for good reason for this season, with all the names, and they really felt like, oh, this could be the one to look forward to. But, I mean, it's probably safe to say it's a polarizing season in a lot of people's eyes. Some people may have actually liked it, because nostalgia is one hell of a thing. But then there's a lot of people like, oh, this is kind of disappointing. I kind of fall in the camp of feeling it's disappointing quality wise. But, I mean, if you have, your thoughts, I'd like to
I
hear.
don't I don't think it's a top tier season, but I liked it. I thought it was definitely a step up from like Double Agent, Spies, Lies, Ride or Dies. So I appreciated that. I'm kind of with you in the regards that like there weren't any real like shocking returns, and when you have a big flagship season like that, you want them. You want like something that's like gonna draw your eyes to it, and it felt like production already shot some of their biggest shots for All Stars, and then we didn't really get anything too jaw dropping on season 40. Nonetheless, I was a fan of the cast. Like it felt like a return to form.
How deep into the bag do you think they reached in terms of names? Like, do you think like they were calling Landon for this? Like,
I think I don't think they dug super deep, with a few exceptions, because I think they wanted people who were really representative of their era in the sense that the viewers would recognize them.
mm,
So for era one, like they're going to go for CT, um, Derek, Mark, like the people that you know and you remember. And most of them have been doing the show, All Stars included, for a long time. I do know that they dug deep for a couple people. I'm guessing they contacted Landon. I know that they really wanted to get Evelyn on the show. She didn't. So there's a couple of exceptions, but for the most part, I think that they went for kind of who you would expect. And for better or for worse, I do think that makes sense.
yeah. I really find it hard to believe that they went and tried digging anybody from real world Hollywood on there. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't even get those folks for like Rivals 2, let alone Battle of the Eras. Like, what era would they represent? The Forgotten one? I mean, I know that they would be era 1 or 2.
That would have been cool actually if we had
Two
like
or three.
like a forgotten era. But there's really no forgotten era. I don't know. There's just like forgotten people, I guess. But it would have been like I kind of feel like I don't think they reached this deep, but I would have been really interested if they pulled like I mean, obviously Aviv was kind of a wild card, but she had one fresh meat one. I would have been interested if they tried pulling like Pete or somebody like a finalist from fresh meat who we haven't seen in a while.
And if we're being honest, that would have been a pretty good move because I feel like just in terms of the number of people they could have cast, the era 2 males were really lacking. So if you're going to have like a surprising return, that's a good area to do it because, the men that we did get were like Ryan and Brandon, like nice people, but not exactly who like you're dying to see on a flagship, especially a milestone season.
Yeah, I mean, people were clamoring out the wazoo for Luke Wolf, and the fact that they didn't even reach and get him, I mean, is kind of astounding to me. I mean, so he's a second place finalist and has a 3-1 elimination record, folks. I mean, he's got a better winning percentage than Brandon does, and even Ryan. So I mean,
yeah, I think he would have won Fresh Meat 2 if his dud of a partner Evelyn didn't try to mess up that puzzle.
that's actually a really interesting theory, and I actually will not discount that. I mean, it's certainly a possibility. I mean, Luke wasn't like great in certain areas, like when it came to like obviously like he's a smaller guy, so like holding and carrying like heavier weight was a struggle. But like in terms of like his endurance, he actually was like really good in the cutthroat final.
That's true. And I was joking when I said that. But I think looking back at the Fresh Meat 2 final, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was like a snow bunny at the time. Like he snowboarded all over the place.
He
And
still does.
that was a cold final, like in the mountains, in the snow. He might have had like a secret advantage climbing those mountains because his lungs might be used to climbing big cold hills.
Well, his lungs are used to some other things too. It's actually,
Yeah, that's training. That's medicinal.
part of his whole casting process that he actually told me was like pretty much like he was basically casted as a stoner. Like I'm pretty sure actually something involving pot involved his casting story. I'm pretty certain. I mean, I interviewed him like 5 years ago. He's got a mullet now. It was actually a really good interview, believe it or not. You'd be surprised given like, yeah, his presence.
Yeah, I mean, the pandemic, I had nothing going on.
His presence on the show, you would think like, oh, whatever, but he was actually like surprisingly a really good interview. Fun guy to talk to.
Yeah, I that does not shock me.
Yeah, but without further ado, folks, I guess we'll get into it, and I'm sure like more, nuanced conversations will stem like as far as like who's getting called and whatever once we, get further into the weeds of things. So we'll obviously start with Era 1 here. I'll go through my guys, you do your guys, and then we'll do alternate girls.
Mm-hmm.
This will be easy. I left Era 1's guys pretty much the same. I tried to be realistic. I would have loved to have maybe had Landon in there instead of somebody, perhaps. I don't know. But, like, I thought they did pretty realistic and, like, a good job with Era 1's guys, in my opinion. So I left it the same.
Yeah, so the way I did it, because I have a hard time cutting a lot of these names because I think that for the most part, there are some exceptions. They really did get people that are main characters at some point in history on the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
But one person that I decided to get rid of Brad on the cast just so I could add someone new in.
Yeah.
And the person I added in was Shane because he comes back for All Stars 5. So we know that he's available, most likely.
Yeah.
And when he came back, you really did see that he had determination and grit. And Brad was a little bit underwhelming, especially after All Stars 4, where he didn't do so hot. And then he got like sent back to the US by Kyland on Battle for a New Champion or whatever it was called. So I'll throw Shane into the mix.
Hey, I mean, I do not dislike that at all. That's actually a really good shout. I toyed with the idea of replacing Derek, but like, I just ended up keeping him the same. I felt like he did well, I guess, on 40, so I was like, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, he would have one more knee if he didn't do 40, but
exactly.
and like there are other people I for most of the errors I made like a short list of people I would consider putting on there. Like I had basically the other people I would have considered were Adam, Larson, Steve, Alton, and Yes. But I couldn't really replace any of the other guys.
Yeah. Maybe if they had more spots for people, that would have been interesting. You could throw more wild cards in, but when you only have 5, it's like tough. I'll go with my girls here now. So I left 3 of them the same. I left Rachel, Veronica, and Tina. Actually, no, no. Veronica, excuse me. Veronica wasn't on the cast in real life. So I actually only left Tina and Rachel. I added Veronica. And then for the last 2 girls, I have Julie and Beth. So I guess that means I would have taken out Jody.
Mm-hmm.
Who else would I be taking out then?
Katie.
Who?
Katie.
Yeah, Katie and Anissa. I don't know. I don't. Kate. Look, I love Katie to death, and I thought that All Stars 5 was actually her best showing since she's done All Stars and 40.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point in time, like I don't think she was really. I think she was there for the paycheck, unfortunately. And Anissa, while she's very involved with the franchise and certainly has like an imprint, obviously, like you can't kind of tell the story of the show without Anissa. She's a recognizable face. I just feel like we have so much overexposure of Anissa at this point that I was just like, let's just shake shit up. And I just decided to add Julie and Beth because I felt like having the 3 mean girls and then Julie and Beth there would have been like dynamic. You basically have girl. You have the girls team from the Inferno too.
I mean, yeah. I love the direction there. I did not do the same thing, but I love that train of thought. I toyed with the idea of putting Beth on the show, but I'm like, she's just first boot. You know it. Everyone knows it.
It probably literally would have been Julie against Beth in that first era invitational if this was the team.
Maybe.
Probably. Well, it would depend on who would get last in that daily, obviously, which, I mean, then it shakes shit up a lot. But, yeah, that's just the team I went with.
Yeah, so I kept Anissa on my cast because, like you said, she's done more challenge seasons than any other woman, I think, at this point. I'm not entirely sure. It might be Cara Maria. But I got rid of Katie and Jody. Even though Jody didn't do well this season, but she is a pretty formidable competitor. But whatever, it's my cast, so I can do whatever I want. And I added in Veronica. Veronica, I don't have a whole lot of confidence in her making it to the end on this season, but she did more. She had more appearances in Era 1. If you look at the 10 seasons that comprise Era 1, she's on like 7 of them. So she is like the biggest representative of Era 1, and she's still active. So it seems like a misfire to not have her. And then I replaced one of the girls with, I know this person was very vocal about wanting to do the season, allegedly, Susie Meister, who has historically been very strong at the challenges.
Yeah.
I don't know how she would do. It would have been 15 years, but who knows?
Hey,
I would love to see her.
Not bad. Not bad at all, actually. But this is where things get really interesting, folks. So buckle up and get ready for the ride we're about to take you on, because now we're getting into what probably I would assume is the most controversial era, at least from the guys' perspective on this cast, which is Era 2. This is where I really had my fun, folks. Again, the people I took off, well, actually, there's like a few that I would have really been not opposed to including, but I decided I wanted to get as exotic with this as possible. Like, So obviously I keep Bananas, and that's literally the only one I keep. I unfortunately decided to remove Nehemiah just so I could have my fun here. And I removed Derek and Brandon and Ryan. There were certain people who were alternates on site for this that I feel like while they're not like the best people for a cast, you could tell the story. Well, you can't tell the story of the challenge without their presence. And I feel like if you're gonna have a fresh meat one representation from the male side, he would have been a better addition than Ryan. Quite honestly, like you, I hate to say it, but you could honestly skim over Ryan with the challenge and still tell the story of it. But with this other guy, due to his infamy, you can't. I got Big Easy taking Ryan's spot. I feel like it would add an inner turmoil struggle amongst that team of like, oh, we can't have him here as an anchor, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, it would be a callback. It'd be an Easter egg pretty much, you know, on the 40th season. A big focal point was Easy dying in that final and being an anchor notoriously. Like, how is that going to shake things up? And then replacing Nehemiah, this person said no in real life, but in this universe, they take a different turn. And it's his Real World Austin castmate. I got Wes. I feel like he really needed to be on this cast.
Wes is like the biggest the biggest misfire for production. I feel like if there was ever a time for them to like twist his arm, throw money at him, like fly his family on site, whatever he wants, this would have been it. Because he not only is he a huge name for the show, he's Era 2. He had a huge moment in Era 2 when he won the duel. And let's be real, that the Era 2 representation, like you're not going to get Kenny and Evan on the show, but they were two of the biggest names during that time period.
They definitely did not call Kenny and Evan, I'd assume.
I would assume that they didn't. Like I don't put them on my cast because I know it's just not happening.
I had this conspiracy theory. Like, it's like not very high of a belief of mine. Like, it's probably 10%. I honestly not that they had intention of pulling the trigger, but like part of me feels like there's at least a 10% chance that they at least gave Kenny an initial availability call. I like just 10%. Like I would not be shocked if they at least gave him like just tested the waters as far as like, you know, whether he'd be interested, whether the network would be okay with it. Like, I feel like it was at least considered.
I don't know. I don't know the background here. I've heard all the rumors, but I wouldn't be shocked. I've heard that they've contacted him in the past, and like they tried to like force him through the system. I don't really know.
Well, I mean, he was still hosting like free agent after shows and like MTV related stuff after his removal from the show. So that's what's weird about the whole thing.
Evan did an after show with Paula for Battle of the Seasons as well. And then I know Evan and Snooki, what a combination. I'm sorry, Kenny and Snooki.
Straight
from New Jersey, came and did like the pre-show for Rivals 2, I want to say.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So I mean, he was still like, and that was years after the case got like kind of settled, I'm pretty sure. So I don't understand what really, I don't know. I got an honorable mention here, and this is somebody I actually probably would have put on the cast in a realistic universe. Like, you know, there's one name on here that's like kind of far-fetched, but like in a realistic universe, this person actually probably, I would have put them on over Derek, Ryan, hell, even probably over Big Easy, even over, you know, Brandon. Tyler's an honorable mention for me. I didn't actually pull the trigger because I just wanted to have fun here. So these are my actual final two names, replacing Derek and Brandon.
I feel like I know one, but go ahead.
Everyone's waiting with bated breath. So I'll save that person for last. But this one would be a bit of a wild card on this sort of era because his aura and presence doesn't feel era 2. He feels much more like an era 1, but technically if we're following chronological order, he debuted at the very very beginning of era 2, and that's MJ.
Mm-hmm.
Two-time champ, and he technically appeared on season 11, which is where this era began. So like he would feel really out of place. I feel like he feels much more like a era 1 type of guy because of his real world season, but he didn't do Inferno. Was it Inferno 2, right? He
No,
like missed.
correct. He did not do that.
Yeah, so he didn't debut until Gauntlet 2. So he missed that kind of cutoff. And then my last name, this is somebody that I feel like not only can you not tell the story of the challenge without, but he's so much of an impact that his presence transcended MTV and made it onto other streaming platforms before streaming was cool. And that's Dunbar. I feel like he would be a wild card return, like a really he really would be a wild card return. And we know he got calls for like the first 3 All-Stars, so it's like not out of the realm of possibility. Like I don't think he got called in real life, truthfully, but like if they wanted to call him, they could have. Like
I mean, if we're being honest, he is not the small, like he's a pretty recognizable name from that time period. I don't feel like his presence, aside from In Your Mind, has really withstood the test of time. Like he's not like it's not like people return to the Duel 2 and they're like, ooh, Dunbar. But when they were actually airing, Dunbar and Paula like were a topic of conversation. You would always hear people like, making jokes about it, and he did win Cutthroat, so he's not like an unworthy competitor.
I mean, you make a really good point there. I mean, when the shows were airing in real time during that era, I mean, what did he do? Like 6 or 7 seasons, I think. So like, he was really taking up a lot of real estate when it came to that time period, from like pretty much like 2007 through like 2013. Like there was like a 6-year stretch where the guy was like consistently on shows. But yeah, those are my guys.
So my guys, I only got rid of 2. I got rid of Brandon and I got rid of Ryan. Nehemiah, I'm a fan of Nehemiah. He won the Gauntlet 3. And I thought that he had really upped his game when he came back to All-Stars. So I was excited to see him. He didn't quite deliver in the way that I had hoped, but I'll still keep him on my cast. And Derek, I know he did well on the season. I kept him because it made sense to have like kind of a rising star from All-Stars 4 segue onto Battle of the Eras. So I kept him for that reason, and because there's just not a whole lot of other options. But the 2 people I added were Dunbar, because he's
oh my god, I did not expect that one.
And then I actually had MJ. Now, well, I have Wes, but since Wes is probably not going to do it, MJ's the realistic one. To me, I feel like MJ is kind of era 2. I feel like after the Inferno, after like Coral and Mike and Veronica and Rachel and Tina, and like that crowd kind of stops their streak of continuity. That's when MJ comes in, and he does feel like he's a different era than those folks to me.
Oh, okay. I mean, he did
my
do
honorable mention here would have been CJ from The Real World Cancun.
I thought about that too. That's a really good shout, actually.
Yeah. He's not like a super recognizable face from the challenge, but I think he would have been a strong competitor.
Yeah, he would have been kind of like an Aviv type of an addition to this cast.
Yeah.
All right, so for the girls, actually, I mean, so I actually left pretty much. So this is funny. I left every girl the same, And I know I've been like harping on like how Aviv's like the only big return, but I actually decided to replace her with another return, and that'd be Sarah Rice. So
I so I did the same thing. Except not Sarah Rice,
okay,
but Sarah Rice, if she would do it, would have been a phenomenal addition.
yeah.
I didn't even think of her for some reason, but she is someone, and she's someone who really defined a long stretch of the challenge. So
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, like, so I initially had Teresa, but like, if you follow any, I mean, I have some intel to myself, but like, if you even follow Teresa's tweets on social media in the past year, like, you would know there's some serious issues that exist between her and production. So that probably is not happening. She's been like calling them out for like I think something that happened back in like Uruguay, like on X's two, something to do with health or something. I don't know, but
well, I think
yeah.
that she said X's two, which is Panama, I believe.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, Panama, not Uruguay. Yeah.
I do think she said this online, so I'll just repeat it because I saw it from her Twitter that's public.
Yeah.
Apparently, during that
Yeah.
hall brawl with Naya, she like had to get a spinal fusion afterwards because she ruptured a disc or something in her back, which
Hmm.
is not trivial surgery, but also she came back for double agent. So
Uh huh.
something in this story, there's a twist in this story we're not seeing.
Well, whatever happened, I'm not allowed to interview her due to the powers that be. So anybody who's asked, just know that it's. I won't get into details, but yeah. No, okay. Anyways, yeah, no, that was
So,
okay. So you said yours, yeah, right? You
so
said
the
you put.
I got rid of Aviv just because I feel like I can, and I put another out of left field return. I get the impression she would not do it, but I want her to do it, and that is a challenge champion, Jillian from Gauntlet 2, 3, and Fresh Meat 2. So 3 appearances, but all in Era 2.
That'd be a really good wild card edition, honestly. I like that one a lot, actually.
Yeah, I remember the streets were saying that she was contacted and considered a little bit the world championship. That might have just been a rumor that was baseless.
That would be like the most random place for her to return. I feel like.
She's a champion.
Well, obviously, but like, um, I feel like All Stars or even flagship for this would have been like shocking but plausible. World Championships would have felt like so like, whoa, I did not see that coming.
It could have been that the filming window for that was shorter and
Mm,
people are more willing to do things like the veterans, the old not Vacation Alliance people
mm,
are willing to do shorter filming windows,
yeah.
more likely to.
Yeah, Jillian's actually one of the off the grid people who I managed to get a hold of and like tried getting her, and then she actually watched like my interviews with like Pete and I think maybe like Jody or something, and she actually was like, "Oh yeah, these are good listens," but like, yeah, I still don't want to do it. I'm shy and like don't want to be like talking about MTV publicly, pretty much. Yeah. So for anybody wondering, yeah, there's my piece of knowledge. Now we get into era 3, which this is begins the whole basically the themed era where like we got rivals, battle of the seasons, X's. I think,
Bloodlines.
yeah, I mean bloodlines even. I mean, so I'll go with the guys first. I kept Corey Wharton, kept Jordan. I decided to keep Devin just because I felt like, I mean, he had just won recently, and I feel like he's been a character. So I felt like well, I guess we'll just keep him. And then like the two names that I added, both from the same real world season, both of them champs, and both of them together won a championship, and that's Zach and Frank.
So you got rid of Jordan and Tony?
No, I kept Jordan. I kept
Oh,
Jordan. I kept Jordan and Corey and Devin. I did get rid of Tony.
oh, okay.
I got rid of Tony and Leroy.
Gotcha. Okay, my bad. That would have been a stacked team.
Yeah.
I only got rid of one person, and that was Devin, because
Okay.
I mean you can switch him around, but I kept Leroy because kind of by the
Yeah, he's
same logic
recognizable. Yeah,
of
yeah, he's
Veronica,
recognizable.
he debuted at the beginning of era 2, and he did like 7 or 8 of the seasons in that era, so he really does define it. Like, he's
Hmm.
really someone that is firmly era 2 through and through. So I have a hard time removing him.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I got rid of Devin and put in Frank because
Very nice. They definitely
he's
tried. They
doing.
did. They did try for Frank too.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The girls now. I kept the girls that I kept for this era were actually just Tori and Amanda. Um, and then I obviously replaced Avery, Naya, and I actually did replace John A.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I've got Ashley, obviously. I mean, that was a big one. Nani and Jenna. Just because I feel like while Jenna's not maybe the most compelling television these days, I still feel like with her relationship with Zach, I think that defined kind of. I'm dead serious. Like I really do feel like that kind of defined. Not defined, obviously, but like to a degree, like the back end of that era was kind of like
Mm-hmm.
pretty much like season 26 through 29 was
Yeah.
essentially defined. Well, not the whole era, but like a big focal point of it was their relationship. Yeah.
No, I agree. I think anyone that has like a multi-season storyline is someone who's established themselves as an important character in the show,
Mm-hmm.
and Jenna definitely did. I
Mm-hmm.
think it would really warm my heart to see Amanda and Jenna on a team again.
That
Um,
too is another thing that I thought about. So yeah.
yeah, I did not put Jenna on my cast because I don't know for certain, but there's like a 95% chance she was pregnant. Not that it ever stops production, but I don't think she would want to do it while pregnant. Um, so I got rid of Avery and Naya, and I put in Ashley and Nani, same as you. But
Yeah,
really, I
not,
think that
not Nani's another one too, similar to Anissa, where like she's done it so much and like she kind of like had a big. Well, I mean, during that era, I mean, that was probably her peak. I mean, well, like if you think about it, from like Battle of the Seasons through like Rivals 3, she was like actually like pretty much like a main character.
yeah, and I think that honestly, I kept John A. But if they're able to get Jenna, Kayla, Nicole Zanaya, or Marie, any of those to me are kind of like not bigger names per se, but bigger surprises and more interesting to have on the cast than
I thought about Kayla. I came close to it actually.
yeah.
Um, but I feel like Kayla came during so Kayla pretty much she came in kind of hot on the back end of era 3 where like season like I would say pretty much Kayla's peak was like at the very end of era 3, like Dirty
Yeah.
30 into Vendettas, and then Vendettas begins era 4. So she
Yeah.
kind of like she caught like the real tail end, so she got close for me, but like
You kept
yeah.
Tori, and Tori's debuts on
That
season
that's
3.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, that I guess Tori would be hindsight though, right? Because her while she did have, a noteworthy rookie season, her kind of like, I would say her contributions to like what the franchise is now and sort of like the podcasting and just being like sort of like one of the faces really began to come to form on War of the Worlds 2 is when she started getting pushed as like a big face of this show. Like pretty much they were pushing her heavily from like 34 to now. Obviously they were pushing her to a degree on 30 as well, but
Well, they definitely wanted to invest in her as a character, like as a personality for the franchise after Dirty 30, because she does 2 of the champs versus stars, even though she never was a champion. Granted, she was an alternate. She comes in as a mercenary on Vendettas, and they give her an elite partner, Derek Henry, on Final Reckoning. Just kidding with the last part. That was kind of like a dud
I
season.
considered him too.
Really?
No, actually. No, but Tori's momentum slowed up a little bit after Dirty 30 because she came in on I mean yeah she did the champs whatever Vendettas she shows up as a mercenary and then Final Reckoning go kind of uneventful season for her and then doesn't appear on 33 and then 34 is when she really found her came into her own as like a character on the show and stuff. So yeah, that's my era 3 girls. I think we just nailed those. Era 4. This is kind of like the ugly stepchild era in terms of like what we actually got on screen. Like there's definitely gems in here as far as people who appeared during this era, but in terms of what we got in real life, I would say most people didn't really give a shit about Era 4. Like, I mean, diehard fans, like, who actually kind of like know how to like, who know what makes a good show, like, can be like, oh, Nerys, good casting choice. Michelle, blah, 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 Paulie, blah. But like in terms of like the casual eye, like nobody was showing up here for Era 4. Like nobody was showing up for Kyland or even like, yeah, Horacio won all those eliminations, but like, the average Joe who hasn't watched since like Free Agents is not coming to watch Horacio type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, so, I tried to make the best with this situation to kind of suit my own viewing pleasure. And pretty much the only 2 guy names, I took a risk with this one. I only kept 2 guys from Era 4. And funny enough, they ended up facing each other in the first Era Invitational. That's Theo and Paulie. I mean, Theo and Olivia met on this show, so I feel like, I want to give them their relationship. So I, put Theo there. I keep Paulie, even though hindsight, whatever. I don't know if anything changes, honestly. There is a chance, though, if the rest of these guys that I'm about to cast are on this, that maybe it's not Theo versus Paulie in that first elimination. So I keep them 2. I add Turbo. And then the last 2 guys who debuted on the same season, technically, I got Kyle and Rogan.
Nice.
So
yeah, I agree that like this is really like a hodgepodge era. Like there's so many faces that just like came and went, and it like really doesn't feel like the show was invested in new people at this point in its history. And as a viewer, that's kind of frustrating. And then you get to this season, Battle of the Eras, and it's hard to cast it because who really defines Era 4? But I got rid of 2 people. I kept Paulie, I kept Horacio, and I kept Kyland. I do think that there's something to be said about like coming in from Battle for a New Champion, or whatever the fuck that was. Like they probably want to try and continue some storylines.
right.
And I think that they wanted to have people like Horacio and Kylan for that. So instead of Theo, who after the World Championship should not have been cast because that was like
Boring.
a floppy, like it was just I was such an advocate for him coming back. And that's what he gave us. Like he was just snoozing under the stars the whole season. So I put Kyle on because of all the people in Era 4. Kyle did 7 seasons back to back to back to back. So he really did define the era.
Yeah.
And I replaced Josh with Gabo from Spies, Lies, and Allies.
Really?
No. I put Jay from Survivor on the cast.
Okay, that's a good one actually too. I should have really considered that. Yeah.
He definitely had his moment. Rogan also had his moment, but I like that they kept Rogan and gave us kind of a little bit of a surprise on That's a New Threat. So I'm not mad about that choice given the next step in history.
I considered JP.
Did you really?
No.
There's like there's people that were like there are people that want to see him back because they're like,
I'm one of those people actually. I'm not even joking you, and this is real. I spent like literally an entire like year and a half trying to court him to be on my podcast before getting him on. I don't know why, but I did. And yeah. Also, side note too, I interviewed that guy who broke his hand, that guy Alon, from
yeah,
War of the Worlds 1. I interviewed him too. um I like was asking him questions like, oh yeah, so like pretty much when you were on the show, we didn't really get to learn much about you. You were there, short amount of time, and they didn't really give us a huge backstory on you. Like a lot of the fans were kind of left, you know, curious on like who you were and stuff. Like, could you talk to us a little bit? Like, and then he got really offended. Like, he was like, I got this amount of followers on Instagram. Like, so many people subscribe to my OnlyFans. I did tell a Novell. Like, he actually got pretty offended. But I was like, nah, I mean, I'm just talking about challenge fans. Like, I mean, I'm sure you have other fans, but like, he was like, oh, okay. I was like,
well that's kind of the problem. I mean, he should be aware enough that like challenge fans and only fans are not the same thing. But they did like get a lot of people to come on to like War of the Worlds and Spies, Lies, and Allies and all these random seasons that have big followings in their native country. But as a US viewer, we're like, I don't know what to do with this. Like, so now someone's coming in that thinks that they're hot shit, but we haven't even seen any of their shit in the US. We can't. Even if we wanted to, we can't.
yeah. Well, you make a very valid point there. I will go down my girls now. Not too much to see here, folks. I actually kept pretty much the entire girl cast, except I'm trying to think of what the name was that so I know the name that I replaced them with, but I'm trying to remember who exactly I did replace. I kept Nerese, Olivia, Michelle, and Jenny.
Yeah,
Who is that?
makes sense, Casey.
Right, yes, Casey. I replaced her with Davon. So
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I
yeah, that was a little bit more difficult for me. I gotta be honest.
yeah, the thing with there's quite a few people that I think are bigger representatives of Era 4 than what we got. Like I would have loved to see Melissa um, or Big T. I really think Cam should have been on this cast, but I think she was either
Right.
I don't know if she was pregnant with baby number 2 or like had just given birth, but like was not in her challenge ready prime. I think she is now, so like get her back on the show. But I didn't put Cam on, even though she's probably like the best female representative of Era 4. So I felt bad getting rid of someone like Casey because she actually is a champion. But you know who else is? Amber B. So I put Amber B on the cast and got rid of Casey. She can stay home and enjoy her last few months with Nani.
I mean, honestly, would you have been opposed to seeing Natalie Negrati?
No. Maybe. I don't know. Like, what's she gonna do?
Cry?
Yeah, that's a good contribution.
Or accuse somebody of bullying her for choosing her to go into an elimination against them?
I mean, that was a moment. That is a thing that happened.
I don't know. I was just watching that the other day when Kyle and Maddie like choose to go against JP and Natalie, and Natalie's like, "You're a bully. Like you choose to go against the smallest girl in the house."
Yeah, that's how the game works.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, let me go and choose Laurel or something. I know Laurel's not actually. I'm just using an analogy, but it's like, yeah, what do you want me to do?
You know how they have that image of Laurel going into Jasmine and Balls in on Free Agents?
Yeah.
I wonder if we replaced Laurel with Maddie, who I know is like 5'11", and Jasmine with Natalie, how they'd stack up. Because you could probably recreate the same sentiment with those two.
Oh, for sure. Like, yeah, to a T. I mean, Maddie won that ring elimination against what was it, Julia and like the Nolan twins.
Yeah. I think it was Julia. Yeah, it was Julia, because Liz is the one that came in second on Big Brother. And Julia.
Yeah, she pretty much handily defeated both Julia and Natalie. Like,
I
it wasn't.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
Actually, I have a hypothetical for you here. I mean, I don't like to ask a question like this because the person involved doesn't really deserve like the spotlight per se. But I'm just, in a universe where this person didn't commit heinous acts, do you think like they would have tried really hard to have Bear be a part of Era 4 if he wasn't like a criminal?
Yeah,
probably right.
If there was never anything with Bear and Georgia that went down,
they probably
would have continued to invest in him.
Yeah.
I really think so. So I do think he would have been a part. I mean, they did what they should have done, which was get rid of him. But yeah, I think he was a huge personality during seasons 33 to 35.
So I'm trying to recall, like, did his like stuff, like, did that stuff like leak with him in Georgia, like, before or during like the double agents process? Because I'd be curious like if he was kind of contacted to do double agents or was like considering doing it and then like that stuff happened. Like I was actually kind of curious about that.
I can't quite remember. I think it was like July of 2020, but
so that would have been before, I think, right?
They might not have been contacting him because I think he was one of like the influencers who was going to Dubai, because I don't know if you remember that time, but like Dubai was like the lawless land and everyone was going, not everyone, but a lot of people were going there during COVID because you could do whatever you wanted.
Exactly.
So they might have been like, we're not going to go with Bear because he's chosen this path, and right now we're playing it cautious with the virus.
Yeah, that would have been interesting to see Bear and Dunbar interact with one another. I feel like they would have gotten along like really well. Had very well-adjusted conversations.
Yeah, I was really happy because there's two challengers I always wanted to know, and they're on your cast, how they interacted together, and that's Beth and Turbo. And it was so great to see them on All Stars 5 together but this is kind of my conspiracy theory, and I don't think it's too far-fetched. I think anyone who's a part of Era 4 who was on All Stars 5 was probably contacted and heavily wanted or like considered as an alternate for Battle of the Eras. So like Melissa, Big T, Corey, Turbo. They probably wanted Fessy, yeah, Amber. They wanted those people in some capacity, but like we know Fessy was an alternate.
I'm surprised Fessy didn't get casted.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I could see them swapping Fessy and Kyland because it's like one big brother for another. And like we know Big T was an alternate, so it seemed like All Stars 5 was a bit of a consolation prize for some people.
Yeah, I was just literally thinking about somebody. Fuck, I hope the thought comes back to me because I was curious about this person. Oh wait, actually, this has nothing. I don't know why I thought about this. This has nothing to do with this season. But since we're talking about this has something to do with like, surprising castings or like whatever alternate stuff. Thomas got like called for like double agents and spies, lies, and allies for like probably the first time in like a while. And he turned down double agents, but then actually accepted the call for spies, lies, and allies and wasn't used.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that because I think that they were casting their net a little bit wider, knowing that they were going to have to drop people for various reasons during that process. Like I remember during double agents, some of the people so from what I recall, they had people quarantining in the US. So like you were basically told like you have to stay at your house for 2 weeks. We're going to have you do tests. And if you pass, if you're good, no virus, you're going to Iceland to be held for more time.
Mm-hmm.
And they had like Jose and Derek Henry like quarantining for that stuff.
Yeah.
And then they're like, good news. You don't have COVID. Bad news. You're staying home. You wasted 2 weeks. Bye.
Yeah, I think that guy Anthony, the one who was Marie's ex from Ari the
Yeah.
One, who did Invasion, he actually, I think, he wasn't an alt, like he didn't actually go, but they offered him a spot to be an alternate on Double Agents too. Because I think they were just like contacting all people who, because he had just did an X on the Beach like the year prior.
Right.
So like they were just contacting people who had like recently been in the MTV pipeline to kind of like, see if they would do it.
One of the alternates that was on site for Double Agents was Mark Jensen,
Mark,
who's
yeah,
from
yeah.
Big Brother and did that same season of X on the Beach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then for some
he would have
reason,
actually been a good addition.
oh yeah, he looks like he's someone that looks like he would have been good on the challenge. So maybe a missed opportunity. I don't really know.
Yeah, him and Josh didn't get along too well, so that would have been funny.
Oh yeah, forgot
He
about
like
that.
made Josh cry or something like that on like Big Brother. Well,
Who
I mean
hasn't?
that's not a hard feat to pull off. I mean, me and you probably make him cry from removing him from our cast.
He blocked me. He blocked me for the dumbest reason on Twitter.
What was the reason?
And literally, this is the reason, to my knowledge, that he blocked me. Like I'm not in his mind, but I said that Kenny Clark should never have been cast on Ride or Dies. They should have put Josh as Casey's partner because at least that makes sense, and it's not another random newbie or some shit like that. Like I probably have said mean things about him, but that wasn't even one of them.
So that's what got you blocked.
Well, I know that was the last tweet I sent that I probably tagged him in that because I thought nothing of it.
Yeah.
And then I also remember before Ryder Dies, I like made some comment about like, why did they change Fessy's name to Faisal on here? Because like, you know how they have like the tag at the bottom.
Yeah.
And he responds and he's like, since everyone's talking about it, I'm finally going to address it. I'm like, chill out. Like, and it's whatever you want. Like, use whatever name you want. It's just when people change their name and it's like consistently credited, some people are curious. Like, you made a choice. It's very public. We just want to know what's up. It's no big deal.
So in real time, I actually kind of like Double Agents Fessy got on my nerves, but over the years that I've passed, I've actually grown to really appreciate Double Agents Fessy a lot because I don't know why, but like he was actually pretty like I wouldn't say unhinged, but he was actually definitely like a big contributing factor to like the narratives for that season. Like that really did feel like Fessy's season, Double Agents.
It was like Fessy, CT, Big T, Cam. Those were like the stars.
Yeah, and I'll just never forget, like at the reunion when they had that girl Gabby, the blonde from the British one, and like she was like Skyping or Zooming in or whatever, and like I forget they were talking about Gabby's boyfriend or something at the time, and then like I think Anissa's like, oh, who cares? Like they were talking about Fessy and her on the show, and then Anissa's like, oh, who cares? She's got a man now, and then Fessy like under his breath said like half a man or something like that. Because apparently the guy's like really short, and then like the reunion host like caught him, like he's like, oh, what was that Fessy about? He said something about man or something, and then like they were questioning about it, like they heard what he said, like you could tell he was trying really hard to bite his tongue, and like said it, and then he was like, I mean, I said half a man. I don't know what you want me to say. The guy's short as shit. I mean, that's all it really is to it.
I mean, hey. If they're going to bring Fessy up into the conversation, he has the right to contribute, and that was a very memorable contribution, apparently, because you remember it.
I hold it very near and dear to my heart. Matter of fact, I mean, I put kind of like what are those like lifts, I think they're called, to kind of make you taller.
Mhm.
That's inadvertently made me really subconscious about my height. You know, I don't want to ever be called half a man. So, I kind of make a conscious effort to leave my home every day a couple inches taller. So thanks, Fessy, for that.
Yeah, I sleep like a bat because of it. I just let gravity do its thing.
Yeah, exactly. So that's all you really can do. And all you really can do, folks, is let us know down below in this comment. Let us know on Twitter what you want us to do next. Something tells me that Battle of the Seasons could be something worth considering. Perhaps X's one. Who knows? Or anything altogether. I mean, honestly, we've got a past of talking about ugly moments and, other, miscellaneous topics within the challenge world. So whatever you guys want to hear about.
Yeah, give me something really offbeat. I love talking about like the random shit. So
Yeah, exactly. Random shits is my favorite thing to do every day. Well, actually, that random shits. Anyways, stay away from Taco
you
Bell is
said
the
it.
moral story.
With that,
Yeah,
you said that.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Until next time, folks. Take it easy.